Hello everyone. Today we're going to be going over another episode of the series, and we're going to be talking about Part 1, Lesson 2, which is going to be Hero Identity. If you don't know already, I'm going to be making a series where I post every single day talking about high-level Marvel Rivals concepts that you need to understand and know and practice in order to reach the highest ranks. My name is Kearless, and welcome to the ultimate guide of Marvel Rivals. Yesterday, we talked about how to actually improve in Marvel Rivals, which includes the growth mindset, deliberate practice, why most players plateau, a couple myths about ranking up, and then finally, how to actually use this series. So if you haven't watched that video yet, I'd highly recommend you go back and watch that video, because we are going to be talking about some of the things that we mentioned yesterday that also tie into today's lesson. So what we're going to go over today is a little bit more Marvel Rivals oriented. We're actually going to be talking about specific things in Marvel Rivals. So today's lesson is Hero Identity, and this includes how every hero has a job, how understanding your role in the team, and how you win through your strengths. So let's get into this. Before you can actually learn about positioning, target priority, team compositions, and etc., you have to understand the main simple question. What is your hero actually supposed to accomplish? It's a serious question, and it's generally smart to ask yourself before every game by looking at your team roster and the enemy team's roster and looking at what your job is to do on the team. So each hero has their own job, and this ties into their hero's identity. What purpose does this hero serve? And I want you to look at their abilities as tools to accomplish that purpose. The goal is to create value by using the abilities. I also want to make sure I'm emphasizing that value is not just getting kills. Values can be many more things, just like keeping your teammates alive, controlling space, forcing enemy cooldowns, maybe even scouting, creating pressure on the enemy team, peeling for your teammates, or even just disrupting the enemy's position and making their head move. This is all examples of value. It doesn't have to just be kills. This is why a lot of pro players and coaches look for things beyond the scoreboard, because damage and kills, while they are good, don't really tell the full story of who's getting the most amount of value on the team. So I want to start off by saying that not every hero is trying to do the same thing, but every hero does have their own job. And this gets into our first point, how every single hero has a job. Not every hero is trying to get kills, deal damage, and carry the game. Different heroes contribute differently, like a wide differential. So a couple examples is tanks' main jobs are to create space, absorb pressure, and control the fights. Support's main job is to enable teammates, keep resources available, and deny the enemy plays. And then damage's main job are convert opportunities into eliminations, apply pressure, and to punish the mistakes. But the roles that I just talked about are for each class in the game. Each character has their own individual role, which goes on top of their class role. For example, while Spider-Man is a damage character, so his main jobs are to convert opportunities into eliminations, apply pressure, and punish mistakes, he is exceptionally good at pressuring isolated targets, threatening the supports, and punishing poor position. So now when we combine these two classes of roles, so now Spider-Man's total job is to put pressure on the supports and win the 1v1s on the people who are out of position. Now we're going to get into point number 2, which is understanding your role in the team. So Marvel Rivals is a very complicated game, and just because your role is one thing one game, it doesn't mean that that's going to be your role for the next game or even the next 5 games. For example, if you're playing Angela and you have a team comp with a strong front line, so let's say they have a Bucky, a Mag, and Invis Woman. At that point, it's your job to look for grabs to take them into your team or to distract the enemy backline by flying over them. Now, one of your teammates swaps to Jeff so they can help you pressure the backline. Now, your job is not mainly focus on pressuring the backline because you have Jeff to help you do that, but instead, your job is now to get grabs and take them into your team. So it depends on what your team is playing, and that might alter your role as well. Not only looking at your team is something that's a good idea to consider, but also looking at the enemy team. Imagine you're playing Wolverine, and they have a Strange as their front line. Your job is to grab the Strange and take him into your team. But what if someone on the enemy team swaps to Venom, and now they're diving your supports, and now they're killing your supports? Now your job is to peel for your supports and get the Venom off of your supports. So the main takeaway that I want you to have right now is that you should be playing your class role and then your character specific role as well. So now we're going to get in the longest but last point of this lesson today, and it's going to be winning through your strengths. So what this means is understanding that each character is good at something and each character is bad at something. This is extremely important. This is a fundamental thing in every hero shooter. For example, if you are playing Black Panther or Magic, some characters that are melee characters, you will not do a lot of damage from far away. Black Panther's spear or Magic's dash don't do a lot of damage and will not beat the Punisher sitting from afar. So now your role ends up being to do the damage close up and not be sitting from afar. This goes into what we were talking about yesterday about the mindset as well, because if you're on Black Panther, you can't be going into the fight with a mindset of saying, I'm going to beat the Punisher in a long range duel. A good mindset is, okay, my role is I'm a close range character, so I'm going to force close range fights because that's where my hero excels. Elite players don't force the fight in difficult situations, but instead they constantly create situations that favor themselves in winning the fight. So if you're playing Magic, instead of fighting the hell up from long range, you should get up close because you're more favorable to win at close range. So a couple common mistakes that people kind of associate with roles are kind of focusing too much on your class's roles. Instead of only focusing on your class's roles, look at your character's roles as well as your class's roles to determine what your overall role is during that match. Another common mistake is ignoring your teammates' roles in your games. Something to consider is if you have two teammates that are both holding the off angles so that the Hela can't push up, maybe it is not your job to hold the off angle as well, even if your character might be good at it. The final mistake is not questioning your role and if it's changed throughout the fight, or throughout the game in general. As I mentioned before, your role will change throughout the entire game because not only are people on the enemy team switching their characters, but the map changes as well. And not only that, but people might be playing differently against you, and it's your job to recognize that and then adjust accordingly. So a couple of questions to ask yourself every game is, what is my hero trying to accomplish? Am I helping my teammates do their jobs? Am I fighting where my hero is strongest? Am I taking fights my hero actually wants to take? And if I remove myself from this fight, would my value disappear? So I got a little bit of homework for you guys. So for your next 5 games, before each team fight, I want you to ask yourself, what is my job this fight? And then after each fight, ask yourself, did I accomplish that job? Did I complete that job? Please do not look at the scoreboard. Don't judge yourself by eliminations or damage. Judge yourself by whether you fulfilled your hero's purpose and got value on your character. Now that you understand what each hero is trying to accomplish, the next question is, how do multiple heroes work together? So in lesson 3, we'll look at team compositions, dive, brawl, poke, and why understanding synergy is just as important as understanding your own hero. Alright guys, that's the end of the video. Yeah, this part is gonna be unedited. This is just kind of gonna be like me and my like personality. I want y'all to like let me know what I should be adding in my videos to make them a little bit more entertaining, because I'm relatively new to YouTube and I'm trying to like make this actually become a thing. So if I could get your guys' help on that, that would be wonderful. So if you could like drop a comment or something about it, and then if you actually do like something, let me know how good it is or how bad it is, and I'm definitely going to add that. I am going to be adding a face cam. I have to figure out how I can set it up actually, because I'm new to this whole CapCut thing. Maybe I can ask one of my friends, but yeah, so I'm gonna be doing these every single day. I already have the whole map figured out and everything, so I kind of just have to make the videos now and edit everything. Yeah, let me know what you guys like and what you guys dislike, what I should change, whatever. I'm gonna maybe add a little bit more like breaks in between, maybe. I don't know. I've thought about a lot of different things, so I might test some things out in every single video, and then you guys can tell me what you like and don't like. Just so you guys know, I was planning on, if you look on the screen right now, actually, it shows that I didn't back up, and I'm going to be writing down in my clips every reason on why I died, just as like, because I am going to be showing my clips, so I'm going to write down every reason why I died just so you guys are not picking up the wrong things from maybe watching my gameplay. So anyways, yeah, I'm going to have the face cam up tomorrow. Maybe I'll add a little montage at the end or just something else. So let me know what you guys want to see, and yeah. I can also post or have this at the beginning of my video, kind of like a table of contents of when I'm going to be hitting all of the 30-ish or whatever lessons, and I'll try to put that in there. I know I gave you guys what parts I'm going to be talking about, like when we're going to be talking about macro stuff, and then when we're going to move on to team fights and stuff, and each part is going to be around 6 lessons. But let me know if there's like something else that you want me to add in there as well, and I can add that in there if there's something you want to learn about. But yeah, so at the beginning of the next video, I'll probably add both a table of contents of like when we're going to be going through each concept, and I am also thinking about adding maybe little Spider-Man or Angela emojis, so that when I'm making these hypotheticals, it makes sense. Or if there's a website that you guys know of where I can kind of map out some Marvel Rivals games, just please let me know, so it can make it easier for you guys to understand. Later on, I am going to be doing some VOD reviews with some people. I've already set up a couple of people who would want to do VOD reviews, and I'm gonna pretty much just be watching their gameplay, telling them what they're doing wrong. I'm gonna tell you guys what rank they are, they're gonna introduce themselves, whatever. And if any of you guys want any VOD reviews, I can definitely do that. Just hit me up on here. I'm maybe, if this gets bigger, I'll end up making like a Discord server where you guys can just reach out to me, but I'm not super confident in these videos right now. I don't really know what I'm doing, to be honest. I mean, I made my first YouTube video yesterday, other than the old 2016 Fortnite montages. But I really do appreciate you guys watching a lot. I do put a lot of effort in these videos. Sad to say that a 13-minute video takes over 3 hours, but that is what it is. Anyways, see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Peace.